Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim. Today I'm bringing a video on what is my Airsoft CQB loadout. What do I use when I'm playing Airsoft CQB? So for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm a 21 plus year law enforcement officer, CQB instructor, firearms instructor, 14-year SWAT officer, and yeah, that's what I do for a living. Also, I've been playing Airsoft since about 2008, so I have a long history of enjoying the sport, if you will, of Airsoft. So what do I use when I do Airsoft CQB? Well, I want my Airsoft loadout to match as closely as reasonably possible to my real world loadout. So there's some sort of training aspect or some sort of consistency between the two. Start with the gun. This is a EMG Daniel Defense Mark 18. It's basically a Cyma Platinum with a Daniel Defense rail. Why do I use this gun? Because this is exactly what I use at work. Same length. Was the same rail system. They recently gave me a new gun with the Mod 3 rail that Daniel Defense has, and it's awesome. But up until a few months ago, this was exactly like my work gun. Now you notice I don't put an optic at work. I use an EOTech. In Airsoft, I hate those things breaking, and furthermore, I really don't like the lens protectors you put on there because they're kind of annoying. And honestly, I just don't use my red dot that much in CQB because it's so close. So it's kind of a waste of time. As far as the light is concerned, this is a Streamlight ProTac. It's the exact same light I use at work, set up in the exact same manner. Other than that, there's nothing special about this gun. It's basically stock. I run 11.1 LiPo, and damn thing just runs great. I don't really feel a need to have a really high-end CQB gun. I get by just fine with this and get plenty of kills with it. So that's my gun. Moving on, this is my Airsoft HSGI battle belt. This is actually a battle belt I used to use for SWAT duty for a very long time. Then our uniform switched colors from black to tan. I just switched this one over to Airsoft, bought a tan one for work, and now I use this. It's a great battle belt. There's lots of good battle belts out there. I've always used HSGI because I have good luck with them. This is their thinner model. They do make one thinner than this. This is the one with the 2 rows of PALS webbing. This is the one I prefer. As far as my holster is concerned, it's the Safariland ALS holster. By far, my favorite holster. I've been using these, I don't know, over 16, 17 years. These things rock. On the back of my battle belt here, I have my HSGI magnet dump pouch. It's my favorite brand of dump pouch. Works great, and stuff doesn't fall out of it the way it's kind of designed. Also, it's made of mesh, so you get some airflow in there. I usually keep my gloves in there. These are my current work operational gloves. These are Oakley hard knuckle gloves. They're great. There's lots of great gloves out there. You don't have to buy these ones. I've used lots of them. They're disposable. You expect them to wear out over time. So for now, what the city issues me is these Oakley hard knuckle gloves. They work great, and I use them for Airsoft too. So moving over here, 1 pistol reload, pretty standard. Real world, I usually carry 2 or 3. Here, this is where you're going to see some deviation from what I use at work. So this is my Thunder Bee. Okay, I use Thunder Bees in Airsoft. I think they work great. This particular kind of the newer model, and it's not really that new anymore, has the caps on the top and the bottom that make it a little more consistent. These go off in about 2 seconds, which is somewhat close to the real ones. And it just works great. It's real consistent. Real world, I would never keep a flashbang on my duty belt. Usually I just mount those on my vest. Real world is usually more of a planned event. In Airsoft CQB, sometimes you'll have to deploy them pretty quickly. That's why I have a tether. It's tethered to the belt, so all I gotta do is pull it away from my body. It'll pull that pin out, and I just throw it in a room and deploy it with one hand. Liability-wise, that's a lot, real world, to have that kind of setup. But it's a game, Airsoft CQB, so I'm willing to play the game a little bit and speed it up. So that is a deviation from my real world kit. Other than that, it's all pretty consistent. So moving on to my Airsoft CQB plate carrier. Currently, this is what I wear. This is an LBX Armatus 2. Now, this is a good plate carrier. It is not a great plate carrier. It's good enough for Airsoft. Probably wouldn't hold up to real world plates, in my opinion. So I got this on sale for like 175 bucks. It's good. It's okay. If you want a plate carrier that I really like, I would recommend the Warrior Assault Systems LPC. That is by far right now my favorite plate carrier. In fact, I'm ordering another one. I use that one at work teaching rifle research all day, every day, and it holds up great. It's over 2 years old. This one probably wouldn't hold up to that kind of abuse, but airsoft abuse holds up just fine. Run a triple mag pouch in the front. This is just an HSGI taco. They work great. I use these set up on a lot of my rigs, particularly nice in airsoft, because if I ever want to run my AK, I don't have to switch out my pouches. So it's a good setup. So for comms, I just run a Baofeng hand mic, Baofeng UV82 radio. Nothing special about that. Just gets the job done, and earpiece. Right here, flexible earpiece. I don't wear a helmet in Airsoft CQB. Real world, we wear Team Wendy's, and a headset. But Airsoft, I don't like wearing a helmet because I think it's kind of silly. In a game where you're peeking your head out and trying to be as small a target as possible, it doesn't make much sense to me to make your head bigger when the bullets aren't real. Once again, kind of gaming it a little bit. But for me, using my comms, earpiece, and the hand mic gets the job done. Moving on to my sling setup. Now, I own my own sling company, so I am biased. This is my Armor integrated sling. It's basically built in to the shoulder straps. If you look there on the back, you see there's two clips. Clips in the back of your plate carrier. Attach it here. Thin cord of bungee here, and it just stays right there. Really handy for when you're, switching shoulders or whatever you're planning on doing. Gives you a lot of flexibility. And if I'm not doing lots of silly stuff like climbing over walls or climbing up ladders, just for CQB, this is really ideal. It works great for me. Real world at work, because there's a little bit more diversity in what I might have to do, I wear just a 1 to 2 point sling. It's once again one of my models of slings. It's a Daisho Tactical Elite 1 to 2 conversion sling. It's basically a 1 point sling that can be a 2 point sling in a pinch. You guys can look them up later if you like. I'll put a link below. That's pretty much it for my airsoft plate carrier. It's very similar to my work setup. The real main difference is at work, instead of having 3 magazines, I got 2 and a body camera right here. There's plates in this one. There's soft armor plates. Does it really matter? No, because it's airsoft. I just had an extra set of soft armor plates sitting in the basement, and if I'm going to have them, I might as well throw them in here. It just adds a little bit of weight and fills out the plate carrier a little more. I really would never put heavy plates in an airsoft rig. Maybe if I was going to do some training, like some PT training, but not for just plain airsoft CQB. The only other thing I have is an admin pouch here. Sometimes I'll throw extra magazines in here, but for most games, it's just not necessary. So that's all I got for my Airsoft CQB Loadout. As you can see, it's pretty close, functionally speaking, to my real world rig, minus the helmet and the heavy plates, because honestly, you're just there to have fun too. I'm just trying to get a little bit of training benefit from it. The place I play locally is called Panoramic CQB. This is one of their t-shirts here. Just like to give them a shout out. They're in the Omaha area. It's my local field for doing CQB. It's a relatively new business, and I want to give them some support. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Or better yet, buy some merchandise from my store, daishotactical.com. That's my website. That's my company. Everything you buy there helps support my content. Recently, I started selling 2 point slings, a new version of my 2 point sling that has a small padded section on it. I was playing around with some different larger padded slings, and I found that the large pads kind of get in the way, and they're just bigger than they have to be. So I started experimenting around with really thin but still comfortable pads, and found it to be a very effective setup. So check these out at daishotactical.com. You can also buy Gunfather Milsim patches there. They look like that in a variety of colors. Thanks for watching.